Righto. Hopefully you can see that. This thing here is it's next to me with the bayonet up to pretty much what my nose and glasses. So I'm 5'9", so pretty tall thing. This is a 1889 Schmidt Rubin. This is the bayonet that I used before in my Versta biker test. This is the genuine original. It's an antique, it's obsolete caliber. Ammunition hasn't been made for this since I believe just after World War I. Just in case there's any safety Nazis out there, yeah, there's definitely nothing in there that can go kaboom. Anyway, I'm going to try and bury, with the aid of this bayonet, up to the quillion, handguard, whatever you want to call that, and then I'll come back for a chat. Okay, so obviously being such a good condition, genuine, antique, I did not want to bash its head in or anything like that, or go too hard on the stock. From what I did there, they were just two little light lunges using my body weight. This was made to handle it. I'm not afraid of that at all. But I suppose I'll talk a little bit about this. So, one of the obviously unique feature about this type of arm is it's a straight pull, and decocked. It's got a 12-shot box magazine. It's also stripper fed. So 1889, it's rimless cartridge as well. So there's some revolutionary things going on here with this sort of firearm. It's got a massive barrel. Not sure what the barrel length on this is. It's got to be getting up around 28, 30 inches long. Front sight, adjustable rear to 2,000 meters. That's not yards, that's meters. It's 2 kilometers. But for me, looking down the sight set on 2,000 meters, it's completely off my shoulder. You got to lift your face completely off the shoulder to do that. But this was designed, it's a Swiss rifle, so this was designed to be used in Switzerland for long-range engagements. So that's why they had these sights. They were made to shoot in the alpine regions, to be volley fired. I'll just step back a little bit so it might be in the picture. So yeah, these were made to be reasonably accurate with volley fire, probably by platoon to company strength, maybe even battalion strength, from high up in the hills or mountains and arcing way out to the other side of the hill or down into the valley, and being up in a high position, it'd be very hard to receive incoming fire coming up the valley or across while you're in a trench or behind cover. So, but they can still lob their projectiles way out. So, and I believe that was one of their intended roles. Now, this has got a magazine cut off here. since it won't come off. There's a little clip. I'm not going to take it off. That prevents the magazine from going into the dropout position. That little clip is that's to stop you from having a full loaded magazine. So for practice shooting for cadets, etc., they have that magazine cut off. So I don't want to lose that clip. I won't take it off just for this. But yeah, 12 shot box magazine and one in the chamber, so that effectively makes a 13 shot rifle. And as you'll see, the action is very fast. That's a very fast action, and basically as quickly as you can do that, you can let rounds off. And what else? The trigger is amazingly good for a rifle that's, how old is this? 120, 130 years old. The trigger is outstanding, you know, unbelievable. Now, this was slightly modified. There's a bunch of them. There's the K31s, which are the, you know, everyone knows the Schmidt Rubin K31s. This changed a few years later, and I believe the next round was adopted, was maybe the 18, or was it the 1911? I can't remember, I'm not even going to comment now. I forget what they called the ammunition, but it was, they changed the projectile, and the original round, this is just obviously an empty case. This is the one for the K31. So the case neck is an extra 1.5 millimeters longer than the one for this, and the one for this one had a paper patched bullet. I believe the bullet was 30 caliber, 7.65, which is close enough, but it was paper patched in the rear end of it. And so the lead of the chamber in this comes out of the chamber, and there's a fat section, then it drops down into the bore, what's the correct bore diameter. So these can be reloaded. You can make ammo to make these work, and there's YouTube videos online of people shooting these. Some people explain how to go about it, but generally you can trim 1.5 mil off this. You can load it with 30 caliber projectiles, and these work fine. I believe these are 1 in 10.5 to 1 twist rate on the rifling, so that suits the heavier, longer bullets. Although if you're using modern boat tail designs, you'll probably get a bit of blow-by. It'll still probably shoot quite well, but you will prematurely wear your bore away in the lead, just from the extra blow-by. So it's probably better if you were to use these to use flat-based bullets, or at least long ones. The long ones with a fast-burning powder, these are only rated for, is it 30? I believe it's 37,000 psi. And then the newer rounds, are, was it 40? Not much more. Was it 40,000, 41, maybe 43,000? So it's, the newer rounds are definitely got a bit more poke to them, but they're not significant. They're not loaded to as high pressure as like a 308 or any of the modern cartridges. But this cartridge here spawned the 284 Winchester, which also spawned the 6.5 Norma Magnum, and also a blown out version of this is basically the, I believe they use this cartridge shortened and blown out, makes the 450 Bushmaster. I'm pretty sure that's correct. And then there's a whole range of Wildcats based on here. So it holds almost as much powder. It's fatter than a 3006 or 308 case. I'll just lean this up. I've only got a 303 British cartridge to compare it to here. Empty brass cartridge, that is. But hopefully you'll be able to see. It's significantly fatter, especially in the body and the shoulder. It's a lot straighter. So this holds almost as much powder as the 3006 and loaded to modern pressures, equal pressures as 308, 270, etc. These will equal or exceed 3006 capabilities. So yeah, a very interesting cartridge, and a lot can be done in a modern rifle with these. So compared to the skinny, highly tapered 303 British, which is loaded to a higher pressure. These are rated to, I've had a Smith tell me 51,000, but as far as I'm aware, it's 47,000 for the 303 British. This is way less pressure, more powder capacity though. And the 303 British is actually a more powerful cartridge than this one here. But this has the potential in a modern firearm to be pretty significant. So I've always daydreamed about ever so lightly necking this to 311 cal, 312, and rechambering a 303, or not a 303, a Lee Enfield rifle to handle these. So yeah. What else can I tell you? Not a whole heap. I paid $1,500 for that, $280 for this. So you know, they're not matching. I had to jump on this one as soon as I could. So yeah, not matching numbers, but the whole rifle, magazine, the whole thing is 100% matching numbers. They, in Switzerland there, they put numbers on everything. That's the sling that came with it. It's quite a long, heavy rifle, which I think is really interesting, that a lot of younger generation now, they pick up these old things and think, oh my God, they're so huge, they're so massive, they're so heavy. And then you go to the old Civil War muskets and they're even bigger and heavier again, you know? So, yeah. They also had to carry a fair bit of kit too, and yeah, very interesting bits of kit, very exceptionally good quality. The barrel in that thing is absolutely mint. Now, from what I read and what I've looked at online, it says that after 1900, the newer version, the newer rifle, the in-between rifle, was developed, and it went to a front locking lug, still straight pull. It shortened the length of the throw and shortened the length of the bolt, made the gun a little bit lighter. I think the barrel got a little bit shorter as well. So these rifles were given to reserve units, and even during World War I, and even up until World War II, I believe these were still handed to extreme rear guard duties. So manning spotlights for aircraft and things like that. And I believe these were used as cadet rifles. Apparently this came from a collection of cadet rifles. That's why there's not a lot of use. The barrel is absolutely immaculate, and I believe they had 22 long rifle versions of these for the actual cadets to do their practice shooting indoors, and these were basically only used for drills and etc, etc. So now, one of the guys online, he there's a bloke on the range, maybe a bloke on the range, he's a Pommy fella, but he lives in Switzerland, he does a few videos about these rifles in particular, and that's where I got a fair bit of his information from. He does a video that goes for over an hour about this rifle and some of the tales and things, and now, even though that these were only rated to 37,000 psi, and the newer cartridge is not a lot more power, that is, or pressure, they still took the same stripper clips, and you could fire the more modern rounds in it as a last ditch effort. It will shoot, it will fire, but it's definitely not for prolonged shooting, because this is a rear locking action. The newer ones are front locking. So yes, as a last ditch effort, the modern ammo could be fired in there, and basically he found that with the instructions on using the modern ammo, which is 1.5 millimeters longer in the case neck, but because it's got the fat lead in the throat, or the chamber throat, you could actually just slam the bolt forward and it will chamber. It'll just push the cartridge neck in a little bit, and it'll definitely work. So yeah, they also changed to a 6-round magazine, and I can't remember if they're detachable or not in the later variants. So, but you can still use the 6-round stripper clips. So this one here still uses, it's exactly the same stripper clip. They were made of like a laminated paper or something like that, waxed paper thing. So they're pretty rare to get these days. You can get them. They're they're definitely pretty expensive, and they're not of the best quality. So yep, it'd be definitely good to have a couple just to keep with the rifle. But yeah, because the other rifles are 6-shot, they just did away with the extra magazine, which is more cost, more bulk to the rifle, and they just stuck with the 6-shot stripper clip. Now, allegedly, you can use a stripper clip from a Mosin Nagant. That's how I say it, and we say it over here. Yeah, this ammo will fit into a Mosin Nagant stripper clip, and they can be used. So I haven't done it myself. I've actually been looking for some Mosin Nagant ones to just to try that. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else really to say. I haven't shot that. It won't be getting shot. It's a antique only. But yeah. Anyway, bit of trivia for you guys. Thank you.